I'm Adam Niffen.
And I'm Jeremy Cocaine.
This is Smith Welding Restoration. Nothing to add to that?
Well, it's, you know, that's where we work. That's what we do. We make things pretty.
We omitted the gas cap, so I'm currently filing that down. This whole thing's so fucking crooked. I may take that down another 6 inches and bring it up to this body line here with the lead, because I know omitting that gas cap right there, I didn't warp this as bad as it's fucking beat up. So I'm gonna do some hammer and dolly work when I come in the morning. But I didn't show the omission of the gas lid. It's just like doing anything else. Bend the metal around, get it to fit on there decently. I trace it from the inside with a soapstone, cut it out, and I just trimmed it till it fit how I wanted. It actually dropped in just a little as I was getting it tacked up there. I didn't use my magnets like a shithead. That repair where it was at, I didn't really want to put fiberglass or mud or anything of the sort in there because it's right at the door edge. It's right on a very vulnerable part of the truck. It would get hit and cracked out. Plus it gives me a really good excuse to hone my skills, or lack thereof, with lead. I'm not, you know, a sophisticate when it comes to that. So, that being said, 72 C10 grinding away. We finally got started on her 2.5 weeks later. I will chat with you folks later. So tell me, Jeremy, this is your favorite part, isn't it?
Sure.
Alright, so Trevor's 72 C10. We hit this with a line file in 36 and it just flaked off. So we worked it over real good, got it loosened up, got a lot of this knocked off with the 36 on the line file, and we go to 80 with a DA. Correct?
Yep. Plan.
So because this job was prepared in a piss poor fashion, this paint's just coming right off of it. So how much of the dents and shit in the hood do you think we can dolly out and get straightened out?
There's quite a few little dents.
Are we gonna have a lot of body work to do, or?
Fair amount.
I guess it is a hood. There's always a fair amount on a hood. Well, I started showing him how to grind him down. He's not comfortable with the air grinder, which is fine. I mean, he's 9 fucking years old. But let's just give this to you folks as testimony. That's bird poop. Those are bird poop welds. 90% of them are fine. Grind them down and dress them. I'll go back and fill in the voids. He did fantastic. This is a 9-year-old young man given the proper tools, minor direction, and trust. So do yourself a favor, folks. If you're out there and you want to do it, you want to figure it out, find your minor direction, get the basic tools that you need, and lend yourself a little trust. Fuck, who knows, you might surprise yourself. Rowan, have you ever actually welded on anything before?
No.
How old are you?
9. Boop. Boop.
Did I stand over your shoulder telling you what to do? I kind of left you alone and let you figure it out, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Got the welder set up in the right settings. How do you feel about your first welding job?
Awesome.
Here we go, folks. That's my daughter Ivy. She's eager, but he's just big enough the equipment fits. The gloves, the mask will fit on him unassisted. She's a little small. She'll get there though. You guys will be doing welding and body work in no time. Alright, so this is where we're sitting on the floor pan of the C10. We got it actually laid on its back. Let me see, I didn't like it, but I cut this section of floor bracing out, and I'll put it all back together and metal finish it, so you can't hardly tell it was messed with. I'll have to do it on the other side, because I want to get all this right. All this was so cobbled up. This is the brace that they put on, and all they did was they slipped it on over the top of the rusted up pile of shit, and they cut it up and notched it out and everything else, and just slid it over the rusted up pile of shit. I actually hit this with a pry bar and it fell completely out. It wasn't welded in place. They cut the flanges off. I'm gonna have to create new flanges so I can get it all welded on. As you can see, there's a flange on each side, and the bolts run through that for that part of it. You can see where I gave up. I just took the plasma cutter and started gouging. The floor is all fucked up and rotted out right there, so who cares, right? Alright, so we're making parts that weren't meant to fit here. What they had, those right there, those were like a slip cover that went over the original one. I can only assume, because it really needs to be split down the middle and narrowed ½ inch. And here's why I say this. You can see the original, and you can see where I cut the welds, and actually plasma cut down here. No, those are cuts. That's a plasma cutter. I just had to get it out of there. I can replace that metal and move on with life. So we'll switch over to here. I cut the bracing out, I cleaned it up, it's ready to weld back on. Got the floor all patched in within a reasonable array. The customer is very pleased with the work and workmanship, not so much the progress. Such is the story of my life. So what I've got is this. They cut those flanges off, so I put 2 new flanges. It's 16 gauge sheet metal. And then I went and cut it, laced it. I've dolled it back mostly flat at this point. I've got a stitch up here. I'm going to weld this and weld that. It's a relief cut to help it stretch and bend, but I had to narrow it. It was wait for parts or use these parts. I gave the owner the option. He asked me what would I like to do. I said I'm so far behind, I prefer just to deal with what I've got and wait. Where we are at as far as our level in the marketplace, we are, you guys have been following me, not since the beginning, but close. We're 4 years old. God, is that right? No. September of 2011. September of 2012 is 1. 2013. 2014. Alright, we're 3 years old. Now let us sit down and do the fucking math. We're 3 years old. We're beyond what most people are in 5 years as far as the jobs we're pulling in, the work we're doing, scope, caliber, so forth. We've got a long ways to go. Both Jeremy and I have so much to learn. Are we good at what we do? Yeah. At the level of the game we're in, the pay scale we render, the speed upon which we do things, and the workmanship put into it, we do good work. We do great work under most situations. That's how it is. Okay? That's where we're at. So we get a lot of these projects that aren't going to get new parts. We have to fabricate pieces. What does that do? It makes us better. It makes us faster. that makes us able to see what's really there underneath all the crud. You don't really know what the fuck's going on a car until you've had to make a few parts. Body, frame, chassis wise. When you had to invent parts out of thin fucking air, you start coming to a lot of very intricate, intimate knowledge with the vehicle and how vehicles in general are assembled. Wow, made it to the end of the video. Thanks for checking in. Come back on the next one. See what the hell we're up to next time. Subscribe, comment. Find us on over on the old Facebook, Smith Welding Restoration LLC on Facebook. Numbers at the beginning. Have any questions? Call.